Following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
All right, welcome back. I hope I still have some friends after that last segment. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, how did my friend count go from 2,000 down to 3?
Right.
What the heck? See, that's the risk you take when you go out here and start telling it, keeping it like it is.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, what can I say? Now, folks, this is the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show. I am Robert Gatewood, your host. I am here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. I have in the studio with me Miss Weena.
Hey, DMV, what's up?
Weena is a therapist, and whenever I bring her on the show, I know she's, I always tell people to get out your steel-toed boots. So if you have on flip-flops, walking around barefooted, got on rabbit-toed, what those little bunny things, little bunny slippers, that ain't going to work, because Wena's about to step on your toes. Just giving you a fair warning. What do you call it? A trigger warning. Giving you a warning. Hey there, Tanya. But anyway, this is the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show. If you want to join us, call us at 1-800-450-7876, 1-800-450-7876. I'm going to, Weena, before you get into your interesting topic, reintroduce yourself to the audience. I'm sure there's maybe one or two people out there that haven't heard about you yet. Shame on you, because this sister, if you haven't heard her, you've been missing out on a lot. And
I appreciate the
fanfare. I just look forward to the third Friday. So, Weena, give us a quick intro.
Yeah, and did you know that this week or this month is our 1-year anniversary?
What?
Yeah, so I have been on for a good amount of time now.
You said 1 month.
1 year.
Hey!
Right, 1 year.
Weena has been on
hanging
the
out
show
with you in the booth.
All right.
And so I'm Weena Cullins. I'm a licensed clinical marriage and family therapist here in the D.C. metropolitan area. I have a private practice in Largo, Maryland, and I work a lot with individuals and couples on relationship issues. So I'm here every third Friday talking about the news that you can use as it relates to having healthier families, having healthier relationships, and just being your best self. So, are you ready to get into it?
Now, Weena.
What's up?
Now, what is it you're saying about the holidays, and that for some reason people have chosen this as an opportunity to...
No.
I'm trying.
Don't help me
I'm
out.
trying to justify this because
No.
it's not making sense to me. I thought this was the season to be jolly.
Oh, see, there
This
you
is
go.
the time to deck the halls,
Spreading that
get out some
propaganda.
cranberry sauce, get out some yams, get out some turkey, get out some ham, get out some macaroni and cheese. There should be nobody fighting ever, and I'm not going to believe until you give me some proof that this is happening.
No, many people think that if you're in a romantic relationship when the holiday season hits, then you're all set up to make amazing memories and have a great holiday season. But I want to take folks behind closed doors today to talk about some of the most common things that couples are fighting about between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day. And that makes sense.
On whether you should get me a sweater or a iPhone for Christmas. That's the fight right there, right?
Right.
No, that's not it.
No. Exactly.
I'm trying.
I mean, depending on how you were raised and what you've gone through in your life, when you think about it, Robert, the holidays can be pretty intense for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then also retailers make this last quarter of the year all about spending money and this idea of togetherness. But the truth is that folks don't feel so thankful at the Thanksgiving dinner table, and they definitely don't feel so merry at Christmas time.
But there's a big turkey there. There's yams.
What is it about you and this turkey and these yams? They don't solve all problems. In fact, I'm sure Weight Watchers memberships increase tremendously after Thanksgiving and Christmas because folks are trying to get back on their New Year's resolution grinds after eating so much turkey and yams and mac and cheese.
But yeah, Weena, there's some folks out there that believe there's no problem in the world that a good set of yams won't solve. You telling me?
Okay, I can't with you. Listen,
break it down for us.
I'm trying to help folks out here, and
Okay.
I want folks to really open their minds up because, so many people out there are going to be able to relate to the things that I'm talking about that couples are going through. If you are in a dating relationship or you're married, you might not be surprised to know that around the holidays, one of the biggest fights you could potentially get into is around feeling a lack of support from your partner.
Ooh. But I understand that this can happen intermittently throughout the year. Sometimes you come home, you had a hard day. Sometimes you're watching a game, but what is it about this time of year that would exacerbate that feeling that you're not supportive of your spouse?
You have to make those hard decisions about whose family should we go and visit. Are we going to get on a plane or drive 4 hours in the car to go and be with your people? Or are we going to stay with my people locally this year and every year because it costs too much money to travel, or I don't really like your people? And so, honestly, when one partner doesn't sacrifice and go and hang out with their partner's family members, it can lead to clearly a lot of one-sidedness, but also some resentment and a feeling of a lack of support.
But what if their family got that drunk uncle that always brings
here
up...
you go. You're getting way ahead of yourself in the conversation.
They be fighting up in there. It's just not your kind of folks. Is the spouse putting you in an unwinnable predicament when they're insisting that you go into a household that really is just anathema to everything you believe in? But I guess that's also part of that support.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly, right?
Okay.
So you want to send me alone into the flames, right? You want to throw me under the bus so that I have to deal with Uncle Tyrone, right?
Okay, I got you.
Got it.
Okay.
So the other thing is grief. As a lack of support, some people really struggle with grief around the holidays, and that's a common sense thing, right?
Because they didn't get the gift they wanted.
When the holidays come up, if you've lost someone that you really care about or was close to you, they can be a reminder or a trigger. And so when this season comes around, if your partner or if you forget to really check into your partner, or your partner forgets to check in with you about how you're doing around the holidays, and they know that you've lost somebody or that this is a sad time for you, then you miss an opportunity for closeness. But there's also some resentment that can be, forming there.
But that on a very serious note, that actually I can actually see that because some people have lost like parents or
children
around the holiday,
right?
And here you're out there drinking eggnog and decking the halls, and they're over in the corner, and you didn't even take enough time to be sensitive to the fact that this is a bitter reminder to them.
Right.
Wow,
right.
That's a good one.
But on the flip side of that, if every single holiday you are doom and gloom and you can't figure out how to get the help that you need, you absolutely cannot rely on your partner to be your sole source of support, and you absolutely cannot blame them for wanting to be happy and be merry around the holidays.
So basically you're saying it's not asking that person to make that kind of sacrifice might be a little more than expected. It's out of the norm. They may need to find that support somewhere else.
Yeah, so it's a balance that you always want your partner to be in tune with the fact that this might be a hard season for you, and this might be a time when they can get closer to you and support you in different ways, while also being respectful of the fact that it's their holiday season too, and they may associate the holidays with good times. So anybody who's suffering from grief needs to find an outside source of support from their partner that can help them to get through the holidays, help them to get the support that they need so that their partner is not the person that bears the sole burden of it.
Wow, I like that. I like
that.
And that's that give and take. That's you're expecting that support, but at the same time you're understanding that you're putting a burden on that partner.
Correct. So it should be a New Year's resolution. If folks are listening now and they understand that this might be them, decide that this year you're going to do something different for next year's holidays. If you haven't figured out a support group, you haven't got yourself into a therapist's office, you haven't built a community of folks who understand that grief is a part of your life from time to time when these milestones and reminders pop up, make sure that you put that on your New Year's resolution list for 2019.
I like it.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Holiday spending.
Ooh.
Holiday spending is one of the primary things that couples are fighting about, whether they're just dating or married. How we're spending the money comes up and literally is like the Grinch who stole Christmas.
Wait a minute. Somebody's out there fighting right now.
Right.
I mean, they're listening to this radio show fighting.
Right.
Give me that dial.
Right.
I got some money to go. I got some shopping to go do.
Right. Right.
Where's that credit card?
Right.
You gave me a limit of $50. What are you talking about?
But you know what? You might be going someplace different. There is always a couple that's fighting about someone in the relationship who underspent on a gift or didn't put enough thought into a gift, right?
Oh.
So if you are a person who really cares about getting meaningful gifts from your partner, and I know folks are out there thinking, oh, I've had this fight with my partner a gazillion times, and you show up to Christmas Day and you two thought you talked about a limit or that, you know, you wanted to do something nice for each other, and you get a coffee mug from your partner and you went out to Tiffany's and bought them something really, really special there. You know what I'm talking about.
But Weena, isn't it the thought that counts?
So here we go.
What about
the reason for the season, right? Remember the reason?
What if I went and made something with my hand? Made him a nice personal wreath. Went out in the yard and picked up some twigs and
some pine cones.
Put a few pine cones, got some glue and gave it to him. Said, look, this is from my heart.
Well, if it's from your heart, then I suppose it's acceptable. And if you're spending the day after Christmas alone, I suppose that's acceptable too.
You can take that heart and go somewhere with it.
From the heart, those gifts always mean a lot. But there is something to this idea of gift giving. If folks out there have never heard of the 5 love languages, Google it, read it, it'll bless you. But some people really are prone to be more loving and feel recharged if they receive good gifts. So it's not just about being shallow or superficial. It's the way that they also show love too. They're usually generous gift givers. And it's just something about receiving a very meaningful gift, whether it costs $25 or $250, that makes them feel really appreciated, valued, and loved.
When I'm gathering that this is probably a problem that has it doesn't just occur at the holiday season. It's exacerbated because this probably happens at birthday time, at
exactly anniversaries,
vacations, everything throughout the year.
Exactly.
But this time of year, because it's more about giving and money spending, it highlights it's exacerbated. So
no, you're right. The other thing about money spending when you have children relates to overspending or underspending on the kids, on hosting at your house, or even how much money we should spend on decorating. How many wreaths, how much garland, how big is the tree that we need? How much money are we going to spend around this time of the year? And some folks are into it and their partners are not, and it creates a lot of beef.
Go out there in the yard and cut you down one of them trees that's in the way. Throw some bulbs on it. That wreath that I told you about, go out there and put some pine cones together.
Come on, Robert.
And for that party, you go get you some Weena sausages and some nabs. And
no. Listen. This is a serious issue. Folks are really struggling around whether or not they're spoiling the kids too much by getting them every toy that they ask for on their list, or not giving them the memories that they had as a child by focusing too much on a spirit of giving, and it's a Charlie Brown Christmas, and it's just nothing under the tree. So my suggestion is always that couples have to zoom out and think about the bigger picture. It's not going to kill the kid 1 year if they get a surplus of gifts, because we're going back to the lean years after that, and it won't kill the kid if 1 year they do have to focus more on the things that they already have and giving love instead of receiving material stuff. So it's all about not being too rigid.
That was so beautifully stated.
Thank you, Robert.
You gotta frame that.
Let me jump to the last one because it's a doozy. One of the top problems that couples are fighting about over the holidays is alcohol consumption and public embarrassment.
Ooh, girl,
come on now.
Get the steel-toed boots out.
If you are one that knows what I'm talking about, this is for you. When you and your partner get to the holiday party, or you're at the New Year's Eve celebration, or you're at Thanksgiving Day, and too many beers were consumed by somebody watching the game, or the eggnog was spiked, and you got to carry your partner home over your shoulder, or they said something that embarrasses you, then you know what I'm talking about.
Weena, you got to hold that thought. I got to hear this after the break. Folks, this is the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show. I am Robert Gatewood, your host. I have in the studio Weena Collins, a therapist. We're talking about these holiday challenges and why folks are fighting when they should be eating turkey and
Right.
yams and cranberry sauce. And we'll be right back after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450
Good stuff, Weena.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, does Weena bring it or not? Hey, Daryl, what's happening, my friend?
Hey there.
Folks, Daryl Spears, I got to tell you about this guy. He is a master at putting people together, business owners. I've known Daryl for a couple of years now, and it's really been a great relationship. We had the Business Connections Conference a few weeks ago. I mean, my brother Leon came up from North Carolina, and Kimberly came up. We had Johnny Parker. We had the guy that owned the Tropical Smoothie, Mr. Clement. We had Sade Dennis. We had Kathy Smith. We had Tony. From Pathfinders doing the media. So Daryl put this together, and he's putting together something great for coming up in February as well. So Daryl, thank you for tuning in, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. Hello, Mr. Carl Capel. Hello to you and everybody out there in Facebook land. Glad to have you. All right, folks, we're in the toe stepping on business today. Now, you thought we were a business development company. Yes, we are. But, folks, we have to take this holistic approach. You can't have a successful business out here if you fighting around turkey and you got folks mad at you on Facebook because they can't be your friend. So what we're doing today, and by the way, folks, Marketing Pulpit is one of the, I hear it all the time, we're probably one of the best and most exciting and informative radio shows on the air right now.
True.
And I get stopped. I can't tell you how many times I get stopped by people say, I don't call in, but I'm always listening. And now that we're on Facebook Live, we're reaching an even larger audience. And also, call if you have a need for advertising. Remember WOL and Radio 1 as one of your options for 2019. Contact Miss Karen Jackson over there and talk to her about even getting your own show, or talk about advertising. If you're in the tax business, if you're you're selling food, if you're doing something that needs a boost, then you want to think about Radio 1 and WOL, and specifically as far as promoting your business going into 2019. So I'd like to thank Ms. Jackson, Mr. Ron Thompson, the engineer over there, Alonzo, and everybody who makes this show possible. And look them up on the website. And also, you can also listen to the show at WOLDCnews.com and click on that live button, and you can go straight to the show from there. I have in the studio Miss Weena Cullen. She was talking about.
Hey.
She's talking about these folks fighting like cats and dogs when they should be.
Stop it, Robert.
They should be cutting that dressing up and put some cranberry sauce on it. And then when you get the little square, sometimes you cut the cranberry sauce is too thick, so you have to cut it in half and then put like a piece of cranberry sauce on both. Oh, I'm sorry.
You wanted to flank both sides of the.
We're supposed to be talking about. I'm sorry, my bad. See,
We're not talking about couples fighting like cats and dogs. We're talking about real issues that literally makes folks' stomachs turn when they think about the holidays, because they have to navigate this craziness in their relationships, and they just want to be happy.
So you were talking about the folks get a little heavy on the booze.
Right. Yes. One of the most common things that couples argue about, and literally in retrospect, when they come to my couch, they're like, oh my God, Christmas was horrible, or the New Year's Eve celebration was horrible because somebody drank too much, somebody said too much, somebody did something inappropriate, and now our holiday is marked with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
The old lampshade on the head.
That's not exactly how it looks, right?
It may be fun at the moment, but you'll be living with that the rest of the year, if not forever.
That's it. So, your partner does not want to have to babysit you on the holidays when they're supposed to be hanging out and making merry. So if you know that you're one to get started and not know when to cut it off, make sure that you limit your alcohol and other substances during the holidays. And also, please don't fight with your partner about whether or not you're too drunk to drive. If they say, babe, give me the keys, just give them the keys.
Give up the keys. You said other substances. Ooh. Anyway, we're going to leave that alone.
Hey.
But it is what it is. Weena, that's great advice.
Thank you.
Now, somebody needs some help with this, and I'm sure some folks do. Like you said, sometimes your partner cannot do this for you.
Correct.
Because as much as a person can love you or that person loves you, people tend to be a little biased toward their own interests.
True.
And that's just human nature. You need that neutral arbiter, somebody to kind of sort it out for you.
Right.
And so if somebody needs your help, how can they reach you again?
Folks can always get in contact with me by calling me at 301-592-7244. That's 301-592-7244. I'm always accepting new clients. However, I am pretty full through January or February, so please definitely get on the wait list, and I'll help you out and hook you up. You can also follow me on social media at Weena Cullins, LCMFT. That's WEENA CULLINS LCMFT. And the easiest way to get me in your household is to literally click on WeenaCullins.com, and I pop right up on the internet with all kinds of tips and news that you can use. WEENACULLINS.com.
Call this sister. This lady knows her stuff. I've watched her from the show for the last year, but even before that, I mean, she had her reputation precedes her because she's actually doing good things in the community, and she's a really recognized professional in her field.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us every third Friday. And just it's good to have you in the booth. Weena is she's good. She does this stuff.
Thank you.
It's just like breathing into her. I mean, some people they struggle when they do what they do. This is what you do. This is why you put on this earth.
This is why I'm on this earth.
All right. All right, folks. I'm going to talk about. I also think we have Mr. Fred Sawyer. He's a very popular author. He's having a book signing coming up on December 6th, and we're going to have that information on the Marketing Pulpit website. This guy, he's written a book, and the book talks about renegade